Welcome back to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Bad Roommate. In my early 20s, I rented a 2-bedroom apartment and had one of my friends move in with me. Everything was great at first, but soon realized I had made a mistake. Any and all things that make a bad roommate, this one man consisted of. To this day, I have never had another roommate. One day, while I was at work, I had a time-sensitive issue that I needed to discuss with him. And when I tried to reach him on the phone, he didn't pick up. He was notorious for not answering his phone. He would get a call, and 9 out of 10 times, he would just set it back down. So I called again, and once again, he didn't answer. I then called him on the auto dialer, so my work number would show up, and he picked up on the first ring. I hung up, and for the rest of the day, I inputted his number into every account I worked that day, as a way of reaching the clients. Must have been at least 75. The beauty of this, for the next few months, I got to hear about and or see him receive dozens of calls, looking for all different people. At first, he tried to explain that he was not this person and to remove his number, but they never did. He would scream at them and ask them why they were doing this to him, that there's no reason all these people would have his number. He would make false threats, saying that he had obtained a lawyer and that he was going to sue them for harassment, but nothing stopped the calls. He eventually bit the bullet and got a new phone provider, and not long after, I broke my lease and got out of there. The next story is called No Repairs. I own a small business and have been renting a unit in our complex for about a decade. A few years ago, the longtime owner of the complex sold the property to a new group. Initially, they made some nice improvements to the property, updating signage, repaving the parking lot, painting the facade, and some other cosmetic work. The terms of my original lease were that the owner of the property handled all repairs to vital infrastructure, plumbing, roofing, etc. The previous owner thought that should be his responsibility, since it was his property at the end of the day. During the course of some of the renovations, the power to my AC unit was cut. I didn't realize it, as it was winter time when the repairs happened. I run a business where we don't need the heat, and I only run the AC in the late spring through summer, so there's literally a few months where we are not using the HVAC at all. I called my property manager, and he proceeded to tell me it wasn't their problem, and that the terms of our lease were now triple net. Luckily, it was just an issue with the outlet. I was able to switch the plug with no issues or additional costs to me. There have been a few other issues that the management refused to address that have been mildly infuriating, namely their repeated insistence that we have a triple net lease. A few months later, we had a water leak. The valve to the toilet had failed. Once again, the landlord tried to tell me it was my issue, but I fought back this time and produced a copy of my lease that clearly stated that all water-related issues are management's problem. I don't pay for water or gas utility, it's included in my rent. Begrudgingly, he sent a plumber to repair the toilet. While he was there, I mentioned that our utility sink was also dripping, and he should have the plumber look at it. He declined to do so. The drippy faucet has turned into a pretty steady stream. We tried turning the water off at the valves, but the old gate valves have so much buildup, they still won't close all the way. I have mentioned it to our landlord repeatedly, and still no repair. It's been about a year, and the faucet continues to consistently run. My dad was a plumber for a while, and I'm perfectly capable of fixing the issue, but out of spite, I refused to. I had a small leak at my house once, and it drove my bill almost $100 for the month over normal. I figure at least $1,000 in water has literally gone down the drain. Not to mention The water is also being heated by the gas water heater. The third story is called Making Him Pay For It. I had a contractor screw me over about $2,000. I downloaded a burner number app. So every few months I call this guy from my random number, ask about his business, and see if he would be willing to do work for me. He owns a concrete pumping company, so sometimes I tell him I need a pump at so and so on a certain day. Asked if he's cool with a check or should I hit the bank for cash. Hook, line and sinker. Then he loads up his equipment and drives an hour to get to a job site that doesn't exist. I almost always send him somewhere I know he has to drive past a friend's home or place of employment. Friend then calls me and tells me the contractor is almost to the site. Every once in a while I ask if he can provide a 10-man crew with the pump, as it's just me and grandpa putting in a garage and we are not that good. It's been going on for 3 years now. Labor, fuel, loss of real work. That 2K has had to cost him well over 15K by now, if not more. The last story is called 6 Inches. My neighbor and I live next to a light industrial area. Plumbers, electricians and painters. Good businesses, no problems with them. In fact, having a plumber nearby has been great. I put up a small shed to store my lawnmower and tools near our property line. Fussy neighbor calls the county, because it is too close to the property line, and the county comes out and makes me move it 6 inches. Not a huge deal, my mistake, but it was a pain. Fast forward 1 year, and the neighbor builds a new fence 8 feet tall, to block his view of the industrial park. Good idea. But the county says the max is 6 feet, and you need a permit to do so. I came home to him sawing off 2 feet along a 30 feet fence. I wonder how the county found out about this major infraction. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.